Hey, we are live on our podcast. So this is going to be a fun format for us. And I have with me Cari Duncan. Cari, bring Cari in. She's not in. There she is. Hey, Cari.
Hi.
How are you, Cari?
I'm doing good. I was just
Awesome.
I was just saying how I'm in my car because
Good.
I got kids at home. So,
Well, that's the great thing about technology these days. Like we can do these podcasts from anywhere we want. So that's
yeah,
awesome. So
yeah.
cool. I'm excited to have you here today. I've known
Thank-
uh, I've known Cari for quite a while. She's an active real estate agent working on a broker's license, and she's done very well. And so she's also the CEO of Digital Door Knocking, and I want to know more about that. So, um, but anyway, she's amazing, and she's going to talk to us today about branding yourself and making and breaking the mold of what real estate agents are normally thinking that they should do, and probably some other things too. While we're talking about it,
yes, that's how that goes usually.
so welcome to the show today, Cari.
Thank you. That was a really nice introduction. You said nice things. I've known Ron a long time as well. We've done deals together and worked together, and I've been active in real estate as an agent for about 5.5 years. So been in it, done it full time that whole time, and it's been really fun. So I guess the theory they say is if in the first year you make it, then you're part of like the 20% or something. And if not, then you're part of the 80% that doesn't move on past that 1 year. So I'm glad to be here at 5 years. So we
Good.
made it. Yeah.
There's lots of people well, and I'm one of them. How long you've been in the business? I'm way too long. So,
That's
but
a good thing.
but what I was going to say is like 5 years, 5+ years is not anything. That's a huge accomplishment, and you've done some really great things in that short 5 years. So we're going to talk about that because I think you can help a lot of people. I think you can help a lot of people. So let's just dig into it. Where do you want to start today? You want to start with, yeah, I'm going to let you take it. Where do you want to start?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just going to kind of start from the beginning to the end, I guess, and it all will touch on branding and marketing and kind of how I got where I am and created digital door knocking in that time. And hopefully we'll give the info that we're looking for other agents that want to know how to brand themselves and, do all the things that kind of make them stand out and not be so much the black and white strategy of real estate. I'm just my personality in general is not that way with anything. I just figure I don't want to be like everyone else. I don't want to do what they're doing. I want to do it, but I want to do it my way, or something different.
Sure. Yeah.
So when I got into real estate, I started with private brokerage, a smaller brokerage, and I had an amazing broker, Adam, and he really took me under his wing. And he really allowed me to learn the contract and to really work transactions and manage them and get really well versed in that, so that it wasn't just about making a commission and helping the client, but it was more about really understanding what I was doing and how I could help my client when the time came. And so I really appreciated that. And about 2 years in with Adam, I had already, done, gosh, like 2 million in sales, which for me was like a big deal because I didn't even expect to do that. And at that same point, my husband was working out of state for about a year. So I was alone with my 3 kids, and it got a little bit difficult, I guess is a good word. And I decided, you know what, I got to really ramp up. I got to do something different. Maybe the grass is always greener on the other side. So I thought maybe I need to go into like a big team setting and maybe a bigger corporate brokerage. And so I did. And I moved to KW, Keller Williams, which Keller Williams has a really awesome design in the way they do things. But after being there about 5 months, I figured out, no, this isn't it either. This isn't working for me. I like my money when I make it, and I've worked hard to make it, so I don't want to give it all to someone else. So
Well,
it was,
but I'm going to interject there because
yeah.
I know some people at Keller Williams,
Mhm.
and it's phenomenal. It's a
Yes.
phenomenal business. So Keller
Yeah.
Williams, if you need some structure, if you need some systems, if you need,
Yes.
I mean, that's like, it's hard to beat them. You just, it just wasn't it wasn't
For
what
me,
yeah,
right.
it wasn't right for you. It's right
Right.
for somebody else, but it's not, maybe not right for you. So
Absolutely. And Keller Williams, I totally agree. And I was actually on one of the well-known teams, the Utah Life Group, that's up north. And I mean, it was really, honestly, I don't think I'd be where I am without him going to Keller Williams and getting
sure.
that education and doing what I did there. So 100%, like they have a lot of awesome training and things to offer. Um, but it was almost for me like, oh gosh, now this is almost too much. Like I can't handle this because now I'm trying to take care of my kids alone while my husband's gone. And so it really wasn't KW. It was just that the strategies and how it was going. I was like, I can't. Now that's too much. So what do I do now? So I
So what
call
did
up
you do? So
Adam.
where you at? Where you at now?
Well, in between, I actually called back Adam and said, hey, um, it's been 5 months. This isn't for me like I thought. Can I come back? But can I just come back as my own entity? I'm just going to do my own thing and be an independent agent. And he said, absolutely, come on back. So I
I,
did.
I know Adam. Adam's a cool dude. I like Adam.
Oh man, he's one of the best for
Yeah.
sure. And so he let me come back. And in that time, that's when it was about November time of 2018. And I took a little time with the holidays. And after that, I said to my husband, look, you're back now. I really need to figure out, how am I going to market business? How am I going to do this on my own? Because I don't have someone just handing me leads. I'm not just getting, all these systems in place. So it was like I had to figure that out on my own. But I didn't want to give up on real estate. I wanted to do real estate. I love it. And so about 5, 6 months of my time was trial and error, researching social media, researching algorithms, learning how and when you do this, what difference it makes. And, what kind of marketing websites there are that are really pretty much low cost or free. Because most agents, we can all do a lot of really great things, but a lot of times it's like, well, at the cost of like your life savings, or do this for
Yeah.
500 a month, and it's like, but I don't have that. I'm trying to make money, right? Like I need to make money and then I'll do that, not do it before I make money. And I think that's overwhelming to most agents when they start. It's just like, I don't have 1,000 a month up front to just put out for leads and this and that. So essentially I did a lot of trial and error. And once I kind of figured out what was working, I started implementing it. And within that, just over a year's time, year and a half, I did about 10 million in sales. Um,
Good for you,
with
man. That's like a big leap.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it
And
was.
as you're sitting here talking about the pain that that real estate agents have as far as costs and all the shiny objects that are out there, and
Yeah.
your, whether it's websites, whether it's marketing, whatever it is, loan officers have the same pain. It's just like it's no different. So
It's
I'm
the
thinking about it
industry
that way.
thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about like really with digital door knocking, it can relate to everyone in the industry as a whole, not just agents, like lenders or escrow officers. We all have to market clients, right? Like we all have to do it the same way. The same strategies can apply for them too. So it's not just, oh, this is only for agents, it's only good for them. They're just strategies that work, and they're low cost or cost free. Like they just, which was the big deal for me. Another reason as well is I realized at that point we had a lot going on with our son. Our oldest son is 12 now. At the time he was 9. And Ron, I like social media, but I always figured that if I was going to be top of mind and in front of people, I wanted to do it mostly with business, and that I didn't always want my personal life on social media, right? Like there's limits.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but really one of my driving forces was with our son, because at that time he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum. And I think that really like rocked me and my husband. We felt like, what just happened? And what did you just tell us? And we knew right then, like, this is going to be a challenge, and it probably will just get harder as time goes on. And we'll have to navigate it. And a lot of that meant me, like my time focused on that. And so I knew if I wanted to keep doing real estate, I had to do it a different way. I had to be able to be home. I couldn't go sit in an office. I couldn't go walk people's neighborhoods. I couldn't cold call people for 10 hours a day. Like that just, and it's not to say it doesn't work. I just couldn't do it. I just didn't have the ability to do it with my situation. And so that was really like a driving force and motivation for me to figure this out, because I knew if I didn't, that I wasn't going to be able to do real estate. I was going to be that 80%, and I didn't want to be in the 80% category.
Something you just said kind of really hit me. It was like you don't have time to do certain activities. Like you said, you don't have time to do door knocking. You don't have time to sit there and cold call people because of other things in your life. But what you said was, it's not that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important to know. So you're not saying that don't go door knocking, don't cold call, that's not what you're saying. It's just like you can't do everything. You know what I mean? You can't do everything. So you got to find out what's your niche and what's going to work for you and go do that. But figure that out and go do it, right?
Right. Yeah, 100%. That is what I'm saying. It is not to say it doesn't work, because, it's one of the most old school ways of real estate. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right. So it does work. I do believe that people definitely gain leads through cold calling and through door knocking and farming and all the things. But I just thought, well, that's great, but I don't have like unlimited hours a day to do this. Like, just in general, being a mom, but then adding that on top of it and all the things that come with it was like, I can hardly like find time to go to the bathroom by myself. So I was like, this isn't, that's not going to work. So I think that's where I just got real passionate about it and decided I'm going to figure this out. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a more efficient way. And if people are willing to look at things a little differently and implement these simple things, maybe an hour to an hour and a half of your day of marketing, and that's it. And you're reaching yet the same amounts of people as doing your cold calling and walking neighborhoods, because it's through social media. You're reaching a lot of people at once when you're doing this marketing. So it's all relative. So
okay,
so
you have me really intrigued. So you have me totally intrigued now, because you say marketing for an hour. It's like I spend far more time in my marketing, with my team and I. So I want to know what did you hit on? What is it? How did you get there? And what did you decide to do? And what's working well for you?
So I decided that if I knew I wasn't going to be able to physically cold call people and talk to them, and I wasn't going to be able to physically get in front of them and knock on their door, right? And this is before COVID, so COVID made that worse, but good timing. And I figured there's got to be a way, and it's got to be a way where I can do it efficiently and in a certain amount of time. Like in my theory, when my kids are in school, I have 6+ hours a day. So I do a little bit more of things when they're not here. But when they are, it's like, I got to get up, do this, and this, and then my time is there, right? So one of the things I touched on is, of course, social media. Instagram is a really wonderful platform. Like most people that are just been on it and they use it for business probably know that. But one of the things that I touch on in my ebook, and you'll see, is basically just direct messaging people. So I had a really neutral template. It was not pushy. It was not, do you want to buy or sell real estate? Like, let me be your agent. It was a more, hi, my name's Cari Duncan. I'm here local in the Salt Lake Valley. I really love your page. So great to meet you. I do real estate. Come on over and check out my page type of thing. And if you ever need anything, please let me know. I would send out maybe 40 to 50 of those a day in Instagram. And then I would go and send out a lot of like local city groups, for example, on Facebook, yard sale groups, all the places that you would never think of. But you go there because those are cities that you really have interest in and like selling real estate. So I would go to those cities, join the groups, get to know the people, friend them, message them with that simple message. Really nice to meet you. Have a great day. There was no soliciting. So it was a really natural, indirect way of letting people see me, forcing them then to go see my page and what I do. And they would follow me and then kind of boom from there. Like these people now are seeing everything daily like this. And I'm top of mind to them, but I didn't even know them before, but I reached them. When I used to do cold calling for Keller Williams, the one thing I did really love was the system of numbers. If you do 50 a day or 100 a day, right? That's 2,800 a month and only 1%, blah, blah, blah. Like this whole system that you realize, yeah, that does work though. Like it's all about numbers and reaching people, right? So
sure, yeah.
I figured I could do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 50 here and then I'm going to do 50 here. Now I just reached 100 people today, but I did it in a different way. So I didn't lessen my numbers. I didn't lessen what I would do if I were cold calling. I just made it more effective and more efficient and more time sensitive because that's all I had was that time. It was like short time. So that was one of my main things that I started doing. Another thing was reaching for sell by owners. I mean, this was 3 years ago. Market's a little interesting right now, but for sell by owners were one of my main, bread and butter of my business and the way I would pick up people. And the reason that is because I think a lot of agents market for sell by owners. The difference is that I knew that I had to have something of value to offer them. Something that was different than every other agent, because why do they want to listen to me otherwise? They're just going to hang up on me like they hung up on the guy before. And so one day, Ron, when I was doing my cold calls, back when I was on my team, I had a for sale by owner stop me in my scripting and he said, Cari, nice to meet you. Just so you know, you're like the third agent already this morning that has called me and said the exact same thing. And it honestly bothered me so bad. It was just so not me that I was like, let's say his name's Roger. I don't know. And I said, Roger, you know what? You're right. And I am so sorry. That is annoying. You know what I mean? I honestly, it really kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, what good is that? 3 other agents have called this guy and said that? That's no good, And so I started thinking, well, what are things I can offer that don't sell me short, but that are super helpful to the seller? So one of the strategies I used to do, Ron, I still do, but it's a little different now, was I would offer for sell by owners a chance to run an open house. Free, no strings attached. Let me come to your house. Let me prospect buyers for you. Let me bring traffic to your home. Let me show you what my marketing can do to market your property. No strings attached. And to me, that was worth every bit of the 2 hours when I would do that, because most of the time those people ended up listing with me because they were like, oh my gosh, I've been on KSL for 30 days. And we had an open house and nobody came. And they were just so appalled. And I think it just was to show them genuinely, this is what I do. This is my job. This isn't about you paying me money or, this is what I do. And I can help you. I can get your home seen better. And I just want to genuinely offer it to you. It's a great, genuine service, really no strings attached. To me, that was valuable. it was something that I could give to them that I knew no other agent was calling and doing. I just knew that, because most agents are all about time and money, right? Like, do you
Yeah,
want to
right.
list with me or not? And it's
Yeah,
like,
you know,
you gotta like,
yeah, you know, the funny thing is there's a couple things that you mentioned as taking some notes is offering something of value with no strings attached is really important. Because everybody is always tuned into that radio station, WIIFM. You know what that is, right? What's in it for me?
oh yeah.
And if there's not anything in it for them, they're not interested. So
Right.
they're more interested, and you've probably also heard the saying is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that's the same kind of thing. It's like show them what you can do and offer something of value, and the business comes. It's just like, are you going to get them all? No, you're not going to get them all. And so if you do one, it didn't work. Don't say, oh, it didn't work. It's just say, I'm just closer to my next yes.
Right.
Because it's all about those numbers.
It is about numbers for sure, and reaching the people. So that was kind of the same strategy with for sale by owners. It was like these certain areas, and I can't give all the secrets away because that's kind of in my ebook, but there's certain places where I market and it's free to do so and pull the for sale by owners. And I would put out, 10 to 20, not phone calls, but text messages. That's something I want to touch on. I never have had so many responses as I did from when I started just texting. I know that sounds like strange because people are all about like talking to each other face to face. But in this case, for sell by owners, it's pretty old school today to like answer your phone to a number you don't know, or they let it go to voicemail. But as soon as they get a text, what do? Oh, what's that? Even if they don't know who it is, they read it, right? So that was my theory. Like, okay, and the text has to have something super catchy up front that makes them want to keep reading my text about their listing or their home for sale. So that was also a really big factor to me as well that would make you stand out. Like, what are you going to say to hook someone to keep reading?
Is some of this stuff in your ebook? Is there some of this stuff in your? Yeah. Cool. Okay. So for those of you that are listening right now, she's gonna tell you how to get her ebook here at the end. So just hang on. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, it's all in there. So I'm just giving you like, I want to give you tidbits and like kind of some of my strategies I do. But yeah, like all the intricate details of what to do, even the templates of what I say, it's all in there. So that they don't have to really think hard, like, well, what do I say? And what do I do? Nope, it's right there. If you just send this, it's pretty generic. And it works, but it's genuine. Whatever you're sending, if it's coming from me and I've created that, it's going to be genuine. It's not a hook and then line and sinker. You know what I mean? Like it's a hook and then I'm going to give you a good service kind of thing and really genuinely help you in the process and make sure it's good on their end too, not just mine. So that's something that I think was a really big difference. I actually then at that point had some agents asking me like, what are you doing? And where did you go? And, I just told them and they're like, where's that Jordan really, because it was a small brokerage and I'm like, oh, it's the greatest. And, kind of started talking to them about it. And you should anytime, like you should come on over. Adam's wonderful. And so they did. And I actually ended up at that point because Adam's such a great guy. I said to him, well, I'm going to work on my broker, Adam. I would really love to like help teach agents and like have a team. And he said, well, Cari, you can do that without having your broker license. And I went, what? Like, I didn't know that. And he's like, oh yeah, you totally can. And I was like, that is so awesome. So he said, go for it. And so I did. And I actually ended up with a team of 6 agents with my own realty group there. And it was awesome. Like it was super fun. And I know that this is before I even had my ebook. I didn't design my ebook until last year. But of course I gave freely to them all the same strategies and everything I was doing as being part of the team, like, here you go, try this, do this. And it was wonderful. Like, I think it was really great. And then, as you know, our industry is always ever changing and shifting. And Adam left and some things changed. And I decided, maybe I need to change too and do something a little different. And so I did. I kind of went back to being more independent. And that's where I am now. So I'm actually at TNT Real Estate Holdings, which is a very small brokerage as well. But Tony, the broker, he's real equivalent to Adam. Great guy, super awesome. Just really enjoy him a lot too. And so I went there, and I'm just on my own, and I'm gonna have my broker soon, and then I don't know where I'll go from there, but it'll shift again. But one thing that never changes are these strategies that I use that I know work. It's just a matter of implementing them, right? Like I used to tell my agents, you can be given all the tools in the world. You can be given all the info, all the leads, all the things. But if you don't do anything with them and you're not going to implement any of it, it's all irrelevant. Like, even though it's all right here for you, you have to, I mean, we all have to work, right? Like, we got to do something. You can't just sit there and be like, well, why am I not getting leads? And why? It's like, well, you got to like implement it and do it. You got to do it, but it works if you do it, and it's time efficient. It's not like your whole life and you pull in the driveway at 10 at night because you've been doing cold calls all day, or you've been door knocking, or I didn't want to do that, and I couldn't do that. And so I just knew that I'm going to do it a different way. And some people might think that's a weird way. And some people might think, wow, that's really cool. What is that you do? And that's okay. Like, everyone's different. And I think that that's what makes our business so cool, is that you learn from each other. And I love that other people do their businesses the way they do, because then I learn from them. And so it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love it.
So what you said about implementation, I think there's actually been studies that the large majority of things that people learn, they don't implement.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing happens until you implement. Like, nothing. You could be the most knowledgeable person in the world about something, and if you don't implement it, nobody's going to know, nobody's going to care. It doesn't matter. So implementation, the people that do implement are the people that have the business. It's just right. That's just how it works. And when you said that if somebody thinks that what you're doing is weird, who cares? It's what you have chosen as your niche, or is what you've chosen as your marketing, because you can't do it all. There's so, just like we said earlier in this podcast, like, there's so many different things. There are so many different things that you can do in this industry. You can't do them all. It's not possible. Even as you grow, and even as you grow a team, and fortunately I have some people in my marketing team behind me, we still can't do them all. It's just not possible. Unless you're like one of these big multi-million-dollar, that spends millions of dollars a month. But even them, they don't do everything. They still direct their marketing in a certain area. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if somebody thinks it's weird. If it works for you and business is coming in, go do more of that. And in fact,
and that's
and you're probably going to say the same. You're probably going to say the same thing. It's just like, go back and look at your last 10 transactions and figure out where your business came from. Yep. And then go do more of that.
Mm-hmm. Totally. That's funny, because I say that. Yeah. I used to tell the agents too. I used to say, here's my theory. When you're posting on social media and you're doing business and whatever, mostly business, personal life, all the things, you don't know if somebody turns you off, right? Or like, they don't want to see your stuff anymore. So I don't know any better. All I'm going to do is just keep doing it. And the people that want to see it will stay on, and they'll see it, and it'll make a difference. And the people that don't will shut you off, and you don't even know they shut you off. So it's really, honestly, that's kind of my theory with it. So I used to let that bother me for the longest time. And that's why 3 years ago, I'm like, Cari, you just got to like dive into it. Don't worry about it. You're just doing business. Because it's just not really my personality to be like, here's my whole life all the time. And I still am not like that. Like, I do a little bit of personal life, but nobody really knows my personal life. because I just don't do that part as much. But
Yeah.
I do want to be top of mind and let people know, like, yes, I do real estate. This is what I do. I'm happy to help you. I'm here to help you. But not be pushy and not be, always soliciting. And there's just so many ways to do it. And that's part of what I teach in my ebook, and the strategies to where people do want to get to know you, and then they just watch you. And then one day when they need to sell their house or their son or so and so, those are the people that reach out to me, and I don't even hardly know them. But they're like, hey, I saw your page, or I watch your page all the time. And I know you do real estate. Can you help us? And literally, like 20 to 30% of my transactions in a year come from just that alone. So that works.
The power of social media is really amazing. I have people that will come up to me and start talking to me. I'm like going through my head. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And they've just seen me on social media. They've seen me on podcasts. They've seen me on videos, whatever. And it's just like, they feel like they know me already. And so it's really a powerful thing. But the disadvantage is, it's like, they know you, but you don't know them. And so I'm most people are really gracious about it. It's just like, I'm sorry, I am just drawing a blank. And then they tell me their name, and oh yeah, okay, I'm with you. So
I know who you are.
So you said on your, some of the things are in your ebook. So how can they get that? How can they get that ebook so that you can help them?
Yeah, no, that's great. So really the best direct way is just to find me on Facebook under Cari Duncan. And in my bio and details, the link is there for digital door knocking, and also my digital door knocking Facebook page, my business page. But the link is there. It's all in my bio. So just find me on Facebook, friend me, and you can find it there. It's just right on the very front page, the link. So
okay, so that's the best place. Just go to your page on Facebook, friend you, and then you can see everything in your bio.
Absolutely. Yeah, like all the things are there. And honestly, if you don't want to friend me, that's okay too. I don't think you have to friend me to see the links. But just go to Cari Duncan on Facebook, and that's where all the things are. And the link is there for you to click on. And the great part about the page itself is it gives you a lot of information up front before you even purchase the ebook. So you can read all about it, get enough info to realize what it is. I wanted to make that a really important pinpoint for people. I didn't want people to feel like it's a salesy thing, because it's not. Like, it's a genuine thing. And I know if people wanted it, it will help. But I didn't want them to feel like, so I just have to buy this. Like, I don't even know what's in it or what's it about. It tells you everything. It's a really great informative page first, that you can read about it, and then decide if you like it, great, and you want it. If not, that's great too. It gives people an option to decide. So
cool.
I like.
So find us both. Find us both on social media. Find Cari on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on most places.
You're everywhere.
Yeah. So find me there too. And the advantage of that, of finding us, is that you can see what we're doing, and so sure. you don't have to go reinvent the wheel. It's just like, I'll be honest with you. I spend a lot of money on learning and researching out how to do some of these strategies. And so just do what we're doing. You find somebody that's doing well with it, and just go do what they're doing. You don't have to overthink it. Just go do what they're doing, and you're going to have similar results. So how can people get hold of you?
For sure. So you can get a hold of me as well through Facebook, and my digital door knocking Facebook page has my email, and phone number, I believe, is on there. Everything's on there. So you can get a hold of me that way, or just a direct message. I am on Instagram as well as Cari Sells Utah. So I'm there. You can message me there, or find me through, I also have my website. It's all linked everywhere, but you don't have to be my friend if you don't want to find it. I
You
just don't
want
like people.
you want to be Carrie's friend. I promise you, you want to be Carrie's friend. So
Thanks, Ron.
I know this is a little bit more public, and maybe you
Mhm.
don't want your phone number out there. Do you want to give us your phone number? If you don't have to, if you can just go to your Facebook page and find it. But
No, that's fine. I don't mind doing that at all. That's
okay,
great.
give us your phone number then.
Okay. It's 801-897-1321.
Okay.
And
Cool.
there was something else I was just going to say that came to me. One of the sayings I've said for years, and this is before I ever did any of this stuff, but I always used to say I did not get into real estate to get lost in a sea of agents. I got into real estate to stand out. It's such a saturated business. It's just, there's so many of us, and there's so many wonderful, amazing agents, and sometimes I just don't even know that they get seen because there's so many of them, and people just have this like stigma about us, right? They just
Right.
assume
Yeah.
everyone's the same and we all do things the same, and it's like, that's really what I want to break, right? Is that mold and that stigma. Like, no, that's not true. Like, there are some agents that genuinely like are good at their job. They want to help you. It benefits you as a client. And they're there for that. They're not just there because, oh, I'm going to make a commission. So yeah, I'll just whatever I have to do. That is not the case. So there's got to be something, right, that you're offering that's making you stand out, that people realize like, oh, this isn't just your standard agent. There's something different about them. And so that ultimately is part of the branding too, that I teach in my ebook of how to brand yourself so that your branding is different too. It's not just like everyone else's. Everyone knows you're a realtor. This is my theory. Say you're a realtor without saying you're a realtor, right? Like, you don't have to make everything you post about that, because that gets a little overwhelming for anyone. Kind of like, holy cow, this girl's annoying. That's all she posts. That's all she does. Do it in a way where it's like, you know what I do, but also here's Cari. This is my life. This is the type of person I am. And that kind of goes along with me helping you do real estate. So then they learn, like you said, Ron, they run into you and they learn who you are, and they feel like they know you. And they're like, wow,
Yeah.
like she does this, and oh, she also does that. And it's not just she does real estate. There's just those ways of branding yourself. So that's kind of my key factor.
Yeah. So what that reminds me of, we'll probably wrap this up here in just a minute, but what that reminds me is, like, everybody knows a lender, everybody knows a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear the stories all the time of, hey, my friend, my family member, they know I'm a real estate agent, but they use somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer to that is, do they know you're a real estate agent, and do they remember? And so that's the problem. It's just like, you assume that everybody remembers that you're a real estate agent because you remember. And we have to remember that nobody thinks about you and your business as much as you do.
True. So true.
Because we don't need a lender, we don't need a real estate agent every day. But when we need one, we need one.
Right. And you want to like, and they want it like right then. Yeah. And they want to know who right. It's true. So you want to be that one that comes to the top of their mind. Like, that's
right. Exactly.
Yeah. They think of you, even though they're like, gosh, I don't even really know her, but I see her all the time, like in my feed or something. Yep. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And it's the best kind of indirect marketing, in my opinion. And it's worked for me for years. So, so it works.
Well, Cari, thanks so much for spending the morning with us and giving us some insight on different ways to brand and to market yourself and to stand out, because we all need that.
For sure. We all need that. Yep. Thank you. Well, it was so nice of you to ask me. And I had to be honest, Ron, I was like kind of nervous because I told you, I'd kind of taken like a little hiatus from everything and social media. And I thought, oh my gosh, like I haven't like gone on and done my videos in a long time or anything, but it was fun. That was a good way to like come back.
But here's the thing is like, you may have taken a short, a small break, but you're going to be right back at it because you know what to do. right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And people can know what to do too by getting your ebook. So it's just like, don't go figure it out yourself. Get Cari's ebook.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I will just say this. So it's $39 for the download. To me, for $39, if I could have learned what I can learn in this book, I would have done that in a heartbeat. But
That's
like
free.
yeah, like you're fluttering usually when you're new and you're like, oh, okay, I'll do that for 100. Oh, wait, what's that course? I'll do it. Like, but then you don't know what you're doing and you're spending a lot of money, and it's just, I hate that. I just think it's super unfair. And unless you get in a good place when you start, like I felt fortunate that I did. I had Adam that was so nice and so helpful and guided me, but not everyone gets that. So it's like,
Right.
they just get lost. And then that's why they fall out, because they just feel this sense of, I can't do this. I can't even get a deal. Like, where do I start? And so for me, for $40, if you can feel that sense of, now I have a strategy, I can do it, I'll do this, this, and this. And if it doesn't work, let me know. Because truly, if you're implementing it and doing it, I can promise that you'll see results from it. And it does work. You just got to be willing to kind of like change up and do things a little different. And if you are, then you'll see results. So
yeah, $39. When I said a little bit ago, I said that's free. $39 to me, that's free. It's just like it's a no-brainer. It's just like spend 30, for crying out loud, spend $39. Just spend $39.
That's what I spend when I take my kids to Arctic Circle. I'm just like,
yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh, how much was that for shakes and lunch or whatever? I'm just like,
I know.
wow. So yeah, that's how I see it. Like, that's an Arctic Circle lunch, guys, like for you and your kids.
Yeah.
At least for me, that's my world. Other people are like, I don't know, Market Street appetizers, but for me, it's Arctic Circle. So that's it. So yeah, it's for sure a deal. I just feel like I wanted to make it obtainable too for people as well, because that's not my focus, is all money driven, and it's just not how I work. So I wanted to make it possible for people to actually be able to download it and buy it and not have it be outrageous. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that. That's awesome. Go get Cari's ebook. Find it on her Facebook page. Just go Cari Duncan. Go look her up. You can see her face right here. Right here.
Yeah.
That's her face. So go talk to her. And if you guys want to get talk to me or my team, my phone number is 801-628-7667. I think it's going across the screen right now.
It is.
So you can just call, text us, and we'll get back to you. And that'll wrap up another episode of Agent versus Lender.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Cari.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.